everyone. Thank you for joining me for this presentation. Just wanted to give you a very brief outline of how some things work in our classroom, some things to keep in mind for this school year. I tried to keep it as concise as possible. I'll keep it short and sweet, but also wanted you to have all of the information. So your child is welcome to watch with you to see how things work. I would welcome that for sure. So first we have our class roster, and I have it separated into girls and boys just for whatever you need this for. It is right there for you. And then next is our schedule. We have on the left-hand side of the screen just the general outline of our day, when we have co-curricular times, lunch, recess, etc. And then on the right-hand side of the screen, you see what we're going to in these co-curricular times. So for the first one, we'll rotate between PE or ballet, creative movement, and godly play. And then for the second one, we will have red, green, yellow, blue days where we have art, Spanish, library, and music. So we will rotate through all of those, and they'll go to each of the second one about once a week. And so there might be whatever one they go to on Monday, they'll go to that on Friday. So each week they'll have one that they go to twice. So Miss Richter is amazing, and she has worked all of that out so that it's all even for everybody, and it's going to work really well. Next is Carpool. Okay, so where will my child be? So we were not calling over the loudspeaker like we did last year, where we sat in our classrooms and we waited for kids to be called. Second through fifth grade, I believe, will be in the kindergarten commons, and we will be down there between 3:10 and 3:15. If you want to come inside, then you can park in the parking lot in front of the lower school, come in, and then there's the middle section where the two hallways meet is where you'll wait for your child. And I just ask that everybody gives me a high five before they leave so I know where everybody is, so we don't have any confusion about that. And then if you are late in Carpool, let me see if I can make this a little smaller. If you are late in Carpool, they will all go to recharge after, which is the after school program. They'll all go to recharge after Carpool, after there are no more cars. And so I'd recommend just registering that just to be sure. You won't have to pay anything unless you use it. So it is good to be registered just in case. Okay, doctor's appointments. So if possible, please try to schedule doctor's appointments or dentist appointments during co-curricular times, at the end of the day, at the beginning of the day. It is just less disruptive for your child just to have those times. I totally understand it is up to the doctor sometimes when you get in. That is totally fine, just as long as you know if it's an annual appointment that you just try to get it into those times on our schedule. And then just tell me what they need. Tell me whenever they're going to be out so I can make sure they have what they need. Just text or email and just let me know so I can make sure they have that before they leave. Absences. So, of course, if your child is sick, please let them stay home and get better. I don't want them to stress about getting things done while they're sick. That is no fun. So just have them rest and get better. And then, you know, as many days as they're absent, that's how long they'll have to do their makeup work. So for example, if your child is absent 3 days, they'll have 3 more days after they get back to do all the makeup work that they need to complete. And I try to only include the things that are absolutely necessary for them to show mastery for a topic. And so I'm not going to send them home with 25 pages of makeup work for sure. And then if you know ahead of time that your child is going to be absent, if you're taking a trip, if you know, something else comes up, then please let me know as soon as you know so that I can make sure, again, that they have what they need. Okay, so some of you might have gotten a text about Remind 101. I was putting all your phone numbers in there and then clicked okay, and it went ahead and sent all the invitations, and I did not know. So if you got a weird text about Remind 101, it was from me. And so it is a program that will allow me to send announcements to you, pictures, updates, reminders about things that come up at school. And it's kind of like a group text. So sometimes I can turn it on to where people can reply. Other times it'll be, if you reply, it'll come directly to me. So it's kind of just another way for us to communicate. If you have an individual matter, of course, please feel free to text me or call me or email me. I'm available that way as well. I just thought this would be good for mass communication. Snacks. So we have 2 snack times throughout the day, one in the morning and one in the afternoon. You are welcome to send just one snack. If your child is not really a morning eater, then they can just have a snack in the afternoon, or they can have one at both times. Whatever your child needs, we'll fit that in. Okay, so the only thing is that it should be a healthy snack, a mess-free snack, and peanut-free. Peanut-free is very important. We do have a child in our class with a peanut allergy, so please double check the packaging and make sure that there are no nuts whatsoever. We are trying to be a net-free campus, and so in general, nets are not sent to school at all. So I'm keeping an eye on that with my things, and I just ask that you do that as well. And then if it needs a fork or a spoon, maybe not a school snack. If it is yogurt or cottage cheese or something of that nature, it maybe is not a good snack for school because can get messy. So just think of things that can be cleaned up very easily. Chapel. So we are back in the chapel. So exciting. Chapel's from 8 to 8:30 every morning starting the second day of school. So we won't have chapel the first day, but we will have it starting the second day. And then you're welcome to join your child for chapel. You can come sit with us in our row right now. So I believe our whole division is going to be in the chapel for right now. So you will just we're on the right side of the chapel behind kindergarten. So if you come in after that, then that's where we'll be. Birthdays. So birthday treats. You're welcome to send treats with your child to share with the class. Please try to have individual items rather than like a big cake to cut or something like that. We celebrate birthdays at the end of the day unless it's donuts, and we'll do those after chapel since they're a morning treat. Birthday blessings will be given in the chapel by Mother Jill again this year. And we will plan to do those blessings and treats on your child's actual birthday. If you want to do that on a different day, just let me know. If you can't come to the chapel for some reason, or if you wanted, grandparents to come and they can't come on the actual birthday, totally fine. Just send me an email and let me know. Morning meeting. So this is literally my favorite part of the day. I've done morning meeting for a few years now, and it has truly changed the climate of our classroom. I believe that we really are a class family. The last 2 classes I've had, they just have really loved it. It's been the thing at the end of the year when we reflect that they've said that was my favorite thing. So I'm excited about it this year. And here are some things that your child can expect to see. Let me make that on there. So we have a new language that we explore each month. So we'll say good morning in that language. We'll count in that language. We'll say today is, and today's lunch is. We'll say all of that in our language of the month. And we'll say the date. So it's so fun. I've loved it. And the kids love it too, because they get to work different areas of their brain and see patterns. We have a daily check-in to see how kids are feeling, or something really exciting happened in the last 24 hours. And we kind of do like a thumbs up, thumbs down, thumbs in the middle, just a quick little temperature check of the room and see how everybody's doing. So I can kind of pay attention to that. Classmates can pay attention to that. If somebody's having a rough morning, we can make sure that we love on that person throughout the morning and make sure that they're okay. We have jokes, puns, riddles, and fun facts every day. So different months will have different things on our morning meeting slides. So when your child walks in the morning, there will always be a slide up for that day, and it will say general instructions for the morning, which is our daily routines that we do every single day. And then after our first, I think it's after September that I start putting a joke on there. And so we talk about the joke at morning meeting, we talk about the answer, and then they'll come home and share it with you. So love that too. We do a lot of faith things in our morning meeting. We read from the Jesus Storybook Bible, and they love that. We answer silly questions to get to know each other. That's how we start every morning meeting, is we answer a silly question like, would you rather have, if you could only have one thing for the rest of your life, would you rather have hot dogs or hamburgers? Something silly like that. And it's just a good way to break the ice. We read and talk about scripture together. I love this. I have the Jesus Calling for kids, and we get to kind of talk about how it applies to their lives, and they love it. We pray as a whole class and in small groups. So at the end of our morning meeting time, I always pray for us. I pray for our day and pray, that we work hard and we learn and we listen to God and all of those fun things. And then as we go through the year, they'll start praying with each other, which is really cool to watch too. Academics. So in your Meet the Teacher brochure, which looks like this, you'll see really detailed information about each of our subjects. But new this year, we are going to have a dedicated time each day called Go Time, and Go stands for Growth Opportunity. And that's going to be a time when kids get what they need, basically. So they can either have intervention, either by Miss Wright or Miss Powers or an outside tutor, or they can have just time for reteaching in the classroom. They can have extensions. It's really kind of whatever the child needs. And this is something new this year. So we are going to be rolling with it, working out kinks and finding what works. Okay, grading. So math, we have weekly grades that are usually like a quiz or a check my progress from the book. And then we're assessed at the end of the chapter with a test that counts twice. So we have tests that count twice in math, reading, science, and social studies. And then the language arts tests are just counted once. We have weekly language arts tests, and we have reading comprehension tests every other week. When we do a novel study, which we'll do in the second and fourth quarters, we'll have reading comprehension tests each week. And then science and social studies will have usually a weekly grade, not always. If it's a short week or something weird is happening where we have a lot going on, then we may not have a grade for both of those things, but we'll have a grade for both of them for most weeks. And then phonics and spelling, so we have Letterland, and we will assess those students on those spelling rules and things like that on Fridays. So those are our grading policies, and I'll kind of send out as I grade things. One way that you can tell what's wrong on your child's paper is I'll circle the question number. I don't put checks or slashes on things that are right because I want there to be focus on what needs to be looked at. So when you see a question circled, that means it's incorrect. And if you see -1 PT, it just means -1 point. You know, if they got 100, it would be a 99. Or I might take off a point for not capitalizing or not spelling correctly if that's appropriate too. Morning work. Okay, morning work is super, super important. It seems like it's just, something that they do and then we're done with it, but it truly is a huge part of our day. So we have math morning work, and we have language arts phonics morning work, and then we have reading comprehension practice, which reading comprehension won't start right away, but we'll start with the other two right away. And it really spirals everything that we're learning. So when we learn something, we're not done with it, right? So we want them to see it again and again and again. So that's where the spiraling word comes from. So when students get here in the morning, before chapel, they will work on that. We're starting to let students down at 7:45. So if that's possible for your family to be here 7:45, 7:50, that will allow your child the most time to work on their morning work, which is great. I understand mornings are crazy and that's not always possible. So I totally get that. But when they complete this by themselves first, it really makes a difference when we go over it after chapel. So when we go over it, they can make those connections of, oh, I did this, but I was supposed to do this. And that creates a different kind of connection in the brain. So morning work, super important. If you can be here, before chapel, that is the best thing that you can do for them as far as helping them to see things over and over again. Homework. So we have information about homework in the Meet the Teacher brochure, but I also wanted to tell you about flipped homework, which is where students watch a video that I make at home, and then they do maybe a few practice problems. We come in the next day, do a mini lesson, and then they show me what they know. So if they are good to go, if they understood from that short lesson of what to do, then they're going to get started on something that's different from the students who they're like, this is really hard. I need some help. So those are the students who I will work with in small group. And that could be, the groups could be flip-flopped one day from the other. So this is a really great way for kids to get exactly what they need. More information about that to come, but I just wanted to share with you that will be coming. Online tools, we're going to use Seesaw again throughout the year for students to show their thinking digitally. And I will send out their logins for everything, both a paper copy and in your email. So be on the lookout for that and keep them safe. And that is all I have for you. Thank you so much for watching. These slides should be attached in the email that this video is in, and I'm so excited for this year. It's going to be great. Thank you.